Hello guys, and welcome back to another cold episode. So, Legend Anthology is still here after the new event came out, and it's probably my least favorite of the events that we've had, minus like Duelist Cup. I hate Legend Anthology, and I'm not going to apologize. Genuinely, I think that this event is just bad, and there was a very funny thing that happened when I was playing it. Now, I was just playing it to get to the gems and be done with it, so I decided to play Dark Magician because when is there a time where I can play Dark Magician? Never. Exactly. Here was the deck that I was playing. It's an okay deck. It works. However, I played against the same people often. I played against this guy twice, and then I waited and didn't play against them again. And then I played against this guy 3 times in a row. And I'm going to show you what they were on and what happened, specifically in this duel, or in this 3 games. And, yeah, I just had to explore that, or explain this. Because, honestly, this, to me, just feels terrible. But that's mostly because no one is playing this event anymore. Why? Because it's bad, and I think everyone collectively agrees, or recognizes, that it's not very good. And we'll get to that at the end of the video. But, like, it's kind of funny that I played against multiple of the same people, and I had to wait to not queue into them. I beat them. I played a best of 5, and I won. I played a best of 3 and I won. So, first of all, Actors Guild here is on Abyss Actor, which is funny. I'm just playing Dark Magician. Absolutely clown them, because this event is a joke. And then, of course, we had the 3 games in a row against Dark Magician. Once again, it was a mirror match, and I clean swept. I don't think I won the die roll as well. So anyway, I'm going to quickly show you each one of these games and just go over them real quick. Alright, so here we are going second, and I drew Effect Veiler, and, yeah, that's it. I drew Effect Veiler. My opponent's going to grab the Magician's Rod. They're going to then shuffle back a card, normal summon the Magician's Rod, get negated, activate, grab up another one of the Illusion of Chaos. They are going to then set 2 and pass. Okay, cool. Seems pretty okay from me, or from my opponent. I'm going to activate my own Illusion of Chaos, grab up my own Magician Rod, put back the Illusion of Chaos, to which my opponent will concede. I don't know why they decided to concede there, but oh, okay, next game. Alright, here we are going second once again. Again, this is the same player, as you can tell. And my opponent is going to start once again with the Illusion of Chaos, grab up the Magician's Rod. They are going to then shuffle back a card, normal summon the Magician's Rod, grab up Dark Magical Circle, activate the effect to stack the Magician's Souls. Notably, Magician's Souls cannot be grabbed off of Dark Magical Circle. So, okay, sure, they end up grabbing a Dark Magician, comedy. And then they're going to set 1 and pass. We're doing great here. This guy is in Master Tier, by the way. Awesome. Anyway, grab up Illusion of Chaos since I can. Grab up the Magician Rod, put back in Apprentice Illusion, normal summon my own Magician Rod. It gets negated. That's fine. Not really going to care about that. We're going to go for the Magician's Soul to special summon itself, to which my opponent will then special summon, utilizing the 2 monsters in hand, into Master of Chaos. This card is funny. Out comes the Dark Magician. They are going to then banish my Magician's Souls. I'm like, okay, sure. I'm going to set my my Eternal Soul, summon out the Apprentice Illusion to grab up Dark Magician, and go for the Fusion Summon. Here we're going to Fusion Summon into a Dark Magician's, and just walk over the Magician Rod. And, yeah, just pass. I don't really want to put this guy into grave, just in case they end up drawing, like, an Eternal Soul or something like that. So, don't really want to do that. They end up drawing Magician Souls. I figured they had stacked this, so... I also don't know why they didn't go for the special summon effect of Magician Souls here, so that they could just, like, special summon the Dark Magician and then banish my guy. That would have been stellar. They could have even banished the Eternal Soul that they know I have set. So, that could have been an option. They just chose not to, I guess. Anyway, because they activated a spell card effect, I get to, or a spell or trap effect, I get to now draw a card. And guess what I drew into? That's right, Apprentice Illusion Magician, which just crashes with this guy, which is so funny. They're going to grab the set card, walk over my Apprentice Illusion, and then just pass. I'm like, cool. Anyway, Eternal Soul during the end phase to grab up the Dark Magician, which is actually to trigger the Magician's Rod in the grave so that I can get follow-up for the next turn. I'm pretty scared of Eternal Soul, and my opponent just concedes. Okay. events are great. Once again, I am going second. I drew Pank this time. Okay. Let's see how the... Oh, we're starting with Illusion. Again, grabbing Magician's Rod. Crazy. Go for the Magician's Rod. Add the Dark Magical Circle. Dark Magical Circle. Grab up the Secrets of the Dark Magic. Go into Eternal Souls. Or Magician's Souls. Wonder Wand to draw 2. No wonder I've beaten this player twice. We're playing Wonder Wand. You'll also see another card that they are playing that is also bad. And, yeah, it'll be funny. I draw into a second Magician's Rod, which is comedy. So, now we have 2 Illusion and 2 Magician's Rod. I decided to keep the additional Magician's Rod, because at the very least, if I don't have the ability to deal with a, or to, like, actually trigger the Magician's Rod in Grave, I still have that second one that I can, like, use. So, that was kind of the idea there. I special summon the Pank, then go for the Souls here. Special summon the Souls, normal summon the Rod, activate the effect of the Rod, get negated with the Veiler, and then go for Souls, stacking the field spell. We're going to go for Soul Servant, I should say. Grab Magician's Salvation to grab Eternal Soul, to then go for the Souls, so that I can draw a card, to which my opponent will activate, lose a turn. What a great event! So fun! Playing against Dark Magician is my favorite. Anyway, I'm gonna Pank that. That's why I kept Pank. I was like, this one is either an Eternal Soul or like an Imperm or something like that. I crash the rods so that I have the ability to put it into the grave. And then we set a Soul Servant, which we drew, and the Eternal Soul. They stacked a Salvation off of their own Soul Servant, and yeah, out comes the Illusion of Chaos, grabbing up the Rod once again. They're going to then go for the Soul, or maybe, no, did they grab Soul? What did they grab? I forget what they grabbed. Anyway, they went for the Dark Magician. They're going to banish my Eternal Soul. Okay. They're going to go for the Soul Servant as well. During the battle phase, I'm going to go for my own Soul Servant, stacking. I stacked the Fusion spell, just, again, to trigger the Magician's Rod. We have Illusion of Chaos, we have Magician's Rod. I was like, I don't know, I'll stack the Fusion spell. I think there's maybe a better option, but it's fine. We're going to go for Illusion of Chaos here, grab up the Magician's Soul, put back the Rod, normal summon the Rod, activate its effect, grab up the Dark Magical Circle, I knew this was Eternal Soul. I knew for a fact this was going to be Eternal Soul. I don't know why they didn't Eternal Soul on the previous turn, but sure, whatever, my guy. Anyway, out comes the Dark Magician. They're going to banish my circle. I'm like, sure. They're going to grab Rod. And, now, notably, they did this in a way that I actually got to see the top 3 cards of my deck. So keep that in mind. I have stacked my deck, and I added a Dark Magician to my hand, okay? So we're going to go and draw a card, and would you look at that? It's a Harpy's Feather Duster! Wow, that's crazy! Anyway, away goes the field. So we're going to special summon out the Soul, and then just Fusion Summon here into the Dark Magicians. We're then going to link off into Link Karibo so that we don't die, and proceed to battle. And I know that they have Soul, which is something. Or not Soul, Rod, which is something. I also have Follow-Up, which is pretty nice with the Illusion of Chaos. I still have that in hand, so I'm feeling okay. If they activate a spell, I get a draw card. So they're going to go for Dark Magical Circle. Why would we go for Dark Magical Circle? I do not know, but we did. I don't know why it's not Magician's Salvation, so that we can get Eternal Soul, so that we can potentially loop, or like any of the myriad of other better options, but whatever. It's fine. I draw a card, and end up setting a card, which was Soul Servant, and my opponent concedes again. Look, I'll take the free wins, because I hate this event, and I'm going to explain to you why. So, first things first, I think Legend Anthology is a good idea that was never executed well at all. First of all, it's always half events, it's never in a full event, which I think really does do a disservice if you do enjoy this style of gameplay. However, the major issue is that because it's an anime-focused style, you still have to have things that are anime-esque. So Access Code isn't banned, Link Karibo isn't banned, Pankratops isn't banned, Harpy's Feather Duster, these things that realistically shouldn't be allowed are allowed because they are anime cards, right? And a lot of things like that are still sticking around when realistically it just doesn't really make sense. Another big problem is the fact that with these Legend Anthologies, you're getting all of the modern support for these archetypes, which makes a lot of them a lot stronger. For example, Salamangreat. Salamangreat is basically at full power, because it's an anime deck, but it was also good in real Yu-Gi-Oh! And so because of that, you can't really not leave it hit. or not leave it unhit, so you have to deal with it. You have to have all of these other cards limited and stuff like that. But it's still a very strong deck that has to see play. But the problem is, why? This is Legend Anthology Acceleration. This is the 5Ds world. Why is Salamangreat legal? Because Konami doesn't know how to balance these. They don't know what they're doing. They have no clue as to what they are actually trying to sell or trying to, like, make in terms of a format. So it just feels very silly. And you can tell simply by the ban list. If you actually look at what is banned and what is limited and all of that stuff, you start to see a bunch of random stuff that just doesn't make any sense, right? There's a bunch of cards, you know, that are left over that realistically shouldn't be. But then you have cards that are banned, like First Dark Lord and Ixchel. Why? Because they're scared of it from Duel Links, right? And a bunch of random stuff like that, right? But War Rocks are fully untouched. Why? Well, because they're not scared of it. But it's not an anime deck, so why is it allowed? And there's a ton of stuff like that that just doesn't really make sense. Plus, I'm not gonna lie, most, like 99% of anime decks that were played in the anime, are not fun to play against. This has nothing to do with how fun they are to play. I enjoy playing Dark Magician, but having played against it in both Duel Links and Legend Anthology in previous events and stuff like that, or just in general on the ladder, it is not fun to play against. Either the one banish that they are able to accomplish does just kind of win them the game, or you MST the Eternal Soul and they concede, because they can't do anything. It's that simple. It's not a very entertaining back and forth game. It's just kind of, here is a banish. Can you deal with it? Oh, you can? Cool, good game. And that's it. And it's really frustrating to see stuff like this, including like Blue Eyes with like Jet Dragon, and like if you can out the Jet Dragon, you basically just win the game because they don't really have any other follow-up. Or the myriad of other, you know, anime-esque decks. They're not fun to play against. So this whole format is basically playing against decks that aren't fun to play against, minus like Salamangreat and Marincess. And then a whole bunch of like bad ban list decisions with sacky one-ofs like Harpy's Feather Duster, Raigeki, and Monster Reborn that just make it, again, not very enjoyable as an average experience. If this is supposed to be for casuals, why would you not lower the power level of the format? Cut a bunch of these cards that weren't in the format at the time. Why is Magician Souls allowed? There is no reason for this card to be allowed. Rod is fine, sure. Heck, you could even keep Illusion of Chaos. But why is this one also here? This is a much newer card, right? There are so many of these examples. Blue Eyes has Jet Dragon still legal in this event, right? So you can still do the Jet Dragon stuff. You have, like, as I mentioned previously, Salamangreat has access code Talker, which is still allowed. And I think, like, most of Salamangreat is entirely allowed. Because I know yeah, Mirage Shalio is fully at 3, which is kind of funny. Though it's not very good at 3. And a bunch of stuff like that, right? Sure, all of the generic stuff isn't allowed, but that doesn't really matter. There's still a myriad of sacky one-ofs, and it just makes the format not very enjoyable, not very fun. And that's why, when you go into match history, or when you play this event now, right? Now, granted, this is towards the end of the event, but still, if you play the event, you end up playing the same person, because no one else is playing. Why would you? It's boring. Why would you do that when you could play a perfectly good event in the Synchro Link event, which is basically just the TCG with a good ban list, and it's like super duper fun? Why would you play the bad event when you could play the fun one? It's that simple. And I think that's the biggest issue that I've had with not the biggest issue, but one of the biggest issues that I've had with the Legend Anthology is every time it shows up, there's always just a better event right next to it. You could also just make this a better event, like it's super easy, right? Imagine if this was just Edison format, and they just like allowed the Edison format cards, and they gave you like a loner deck that instead of being stupid TG that no one's going to play and doesn't really fit into this current metagame because it has this random Link monster and like Hyper Librarian and all of this stuff, and instead it was just like, I don't know, Hero Beats, or like Dandelion Turbo, right? Or Quick Draw Dandy, right? or something like that that was from that era of the game. Do you know how cool that would be? Do you know how fun that would be? But no, instead we gotta ruin the event and make it anime-centric and make it focused on the 5D's anime, except it's not focused on the 5D's anime at all, because Hero is one of the loners! What's the theming? What's the point? Why is Legend Anthology? Just make it anything else. Theme Chronicle just does Legend Anthology, but better. I hate this event. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope that you did indeed enjoy. If you did, I like us very much. I appreciate it. And remember to always stay frosty. Bye-bye. Shout out to the Frost Guard, my members. Thank you guys so much for the support, and I hope you enjoy the content.